The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at wrestlingwithjohners.com.
So I am joined by the Chainsaw Queen, Black Dahlia, who's also known as Paige.
You told me there was an intro. I was adjusting my tits. What is this podcast rated, babe? 1 minute. What is it rated?
Whatever you want to rate it.
No, I don't want to run your views. So like PG-13, like usual.
If it gets the views, then I'm happy.
Oh, you. All right. Well, hello, guys.
Anyway, this is Paige,
Hi.
Black Dahlia, Chainsaw Queen. She has many titles. I have been sat here for an hour. What about you, Dahlia? What have you been doing?
Have you? That's odd.
I have.
You like to be early for podcasts?
I've even got my book.
Okay, guys, what's going on is I was supposed to be on an hour ago, and he's very punctual, and I look so busted up to be an hour late. You would think I would look glamorous, hair done, makeup done, and I think my hair extensions are falling out. 1 minute.
Like we said before we went on, you look fine.
No, I don't. Let me fix this. I wasn't ready.
You're full of energy, and that's what I like. Where do we start with you? You're a very interesting character.
I don't know if that's a compliment. You call people a character.
You're a wrestler, model, actress. What have I missed? What is interesting about? What do you want to go by, Paige or Black Dahlia?
Right. So the gimmick is the Black Dahlia Chainsaw Queen, but you can just call me Paige on this.
Awesome. So what haven't you done? That's the question.
That's funny. No, I am an actress. I am a model. I am a professional wrestler, but ultimately I am sick. I have CRPS, and I've been out of the game for like 7 years. And so the whole setup is I'm like shoot talk. Like I really am the underdog. I really am this crazy, weird Cinderella story where all the odds have been against me, and I've survived, and now I'm giving it a full shot of my wrestling career. Now I'm having doctors monitor me, and I'm really trying to really start my wrestling career.
I think you are an inspiration to many, because for people that don't know,
I don't know about that. Oh my God, my double chin's in the shot. Fudge, no. You cut my exploration on my double chin pops.
Like I said, look at me, big forehead.
Oh no, but you look. Do I have a big forehead? Would you consider this a big forehead?
Well, see, there's a 4-head, but mine's a 5-head.
Oh, the finger thing. Well, it depends on what fingers you're using. But thank you for guys. Thank you for calling me. Some people call me an inspiration. I call myself a goof. Like, when you think someone doing this crazy inspiration story, I slept out of my vehicle, I starved, I spent all my money on wrestling schools, for years. I slept out, I was homeless for wrestling just to be put in a wheelchair. So you think that this is like some cool, like inspirational story, and you see a politician smiling and waving, and then you get me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But no, seriously, I've read up your story, and I've seen what you've gone through, and I've seen your TikToks, and I've seen everything that you've done, and what you've been through. And I saw the stitches and everything, and that don't look nice. But to where you are now,
the scars and the rawness of what I'm sharing with the fans, the real, it's just like so raw and real. It's the shock factor of the scars, but the disease is so much deeper, so much worse. CRPS, there is no cure. It is in America nicknamed the suicide disease because it's so deadly. And I went so long not being diagnosed. A lot of people they're like, is it genetic? It's like cancer, isn't it? Everyone wants to be educated on it once they hear about it. And it's actually activated by an injury or an accident, or even like a traumatic surgery that you're having. It can happen to anyone. And what happened to me was a wrestling accident. So technically, wrestling put me in a wheelchair and gave me CRPS. I was robbed of my wrestling career, you know, like I trained under Funaki for a year. Then I went at Rikishi's, trained at Rikishi's for a year. I was in LA for nearly a year, sleeping out of my vehicle. And then my shoot job, so I could, like, I'm not from, you know, my family was not wrestling fans, and they actually thought it was trashy. And I was on my own if I wanted to go to wrestling school. So I got a shoot job. I worked night shift, working like a factory style job of unloading semis and stuff. I was like one of the only females doing it. And it was a very physical job. It was a 10-hour night shift. And then I would go in LA traffic. I would go to the gym. I would work out. It was a Planet Fitness, 24 hours. I would work out, then I would shower, and then I would go and sleep in my vehicle in the daytime. And when I mean sleep, it would mean like I couldn't run the vehicle because the air conditioning was busted. So it was me in the middle of LA in the hot sun trying to sleep in my vehicle for 3 hours before I had to go to Rikishi's for wrestling school. And then I had to go and repeat that. So I have this crazy story of paying my dues and becoming a wrestler. And then out at Rikishi's, my accident happened. And I've been sick ever since. And I was robbed of my wrestling career. So this is kind of like, you know, like that cliche inspirational story of, hey guys, this is my story, this is what I've done, and I really am going to get out there and wrestle.
Like I said before we went on, and when we come on before you started, you know, yeah, you are an inspiration to many.
Oh, thanks. Like, and it just it's silly because then I feel like I was never meant to do this. You would think someone with better connections or more pretty or more intelligent or more talented. Like, I'm not just like downplaying myself. I'm genuinely telling you guys, I wish it was someone else besides me. Not that I wish this disease on anyone, but I feel like God really fucked up by picking me. You know what I'm saying? Like I cuss. I'm not politically correct. I'm silly. I watch Kevin Smith movies, you know, like Jay Silent Bob is like my personality. I watch horror movies. I love serial killer documentaries. I'm not really the poster child to inspire kids, and here I am with this sappy story, and everything out of my mouth is like a giant dick monster joke, you know? It just like, it's an oxymoron.
You are very funny. Obviously, you along the way you've come across one of my favorite people, and I think you may know where I'm going to be going with this. I've had her on. Who is it? Can you guess?
One of my coaches?
No,
From
one of your closest friends.
Oh shit. Oh god.
She will kill you. I said I've had her on.
Bronwyne!
Yeah,
Bronwyne!
Bronwyne.
Ah, yes! Bronwyne! Well, honestly, like, we were just talking about my coaches, so I was just like, oh, you've met one of them, but yes, Bronwyne. Have you had her on this podcast yet?
I have.
You have? Okay, good. I was going to suggest you need to get her on.
She is unbelievable, down to earth. Nothing but great things to say about her.
Such a good person. She's one of my angels in my story, actually. Like, before my story, I'm still a nobody, but I realize that. But the little bit of attention I am getting right now, it's good. But before I even got a little bit more notoriety for CRPS, she was one of the first people that was like, hey, you know. So like she's been there from for a minute now, and I really, really love and appreciate her.
Yeah. So my thing is, I've had her on. I've had you on. Well, I will have you on when this goes up.
Yeah.
What I would want to do, and hopefully, touch wood, in the next couple of months, I want to get you both on.
Yes, at the same time. Tag
Yeah.
team, double trouble.
Yeah. The Chainsaw Queen and the Dynamite Doll.
Yeah, she brings the dynamite, I bring the saws. Yes, and you might want to do that because we're about
Double
to get
trouble.
super busy come Thanksgiving time.
Anything's planned?
Anything I'm allowed to announce?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes. Oh,
Mhm.
She was just announced for one of them, and I'm gonna be there. And when she's coming back to America in November, so we'll be linking up very soon. And a couple other things are up in the air, but Double Trouble is about to take over, and my
Team best deal.
passport is coming in.
So, where's some places on the passport that you would like to tick off?
Well, like with my whole being sick for the past 7 years, I've been deprived of traveling, deprived of just living. So I'm really eager to get out there and experience life and get to go and travel. But being sick, it is hard to travel long distances. But I hope when I'm actively wrestling, my CRPS will be in remission. So then it'll be easier on me.
Yeah.
So when that happens, some of the places will hopefully before the year's out, I will be in Canada. That's gonna be one of the first places I go. I'm not allowed to say anything about this, but there have been offers this summer about Puerto Rico.
Ooh.
And other
There's
than
somewhere you
that,
haven't said yet.
sorry,
There's somewhere you haven't said yet, which is obvious.
England.
You said it.
Yes, I've had a couple during my sickness. I've had people in my DMs talk about coming to Germany, England, France, and I've had a couple people mention Japan. But now that I'm starting to dip my toe back in, I'm not fully wrestling, so it's like, okay, let's see different companies, let's see different promotions, let's see what I can do. And right now, I'm just doing appearances and occasionally valet spots. But where I'm not in remission, it's very hard for me to travel and commit to these. So when I'm actively taking bookings as a wrestler, be prepared to see me all over the place. I'm going to hit the ground running.
Why don't we get you and Bronwyne to England?
Yes, that would be such a blessing. Honestly, my passport will be in, and
But she is British, isn't she?
yes, and she's gorgeous and amazing, and her and I, like, we can't just, like, I know I have her in America in November, and then I believe I'm coming to Canada in December. So a lot of cool things. And if England can be one of those, let's freaking make it happen. And I know, like, everyone will want to see us.
Yeah, definitely. People will want to see you and Bronwyne. Like I said,
Yeah.
she's an unbelievable person.
She's so good. I mean, she is wrestling royalty, and I always make the joke that we're Disney princesses, because, like, with my sickness, it can be very scary. So I try to think of something that, from my childhood, so Disney princesses. And I always, where she is wrestling royalty, I always make the joke that she is like Ariel or Aurora, Sleeping Beauty. She's like a royalty, and then I'm a Disney princess, but I'm more like Cinderella, from rags to riches, like I'm more like I'm the nobody that's coming up, and like we're two Disney princesses about to take over wrestling. So yes, she's a Disney princess and a sweetheart.
Yeah, I'm sure Snow White always makes it on time to appearances and stuff like that. Is that right?
I'm gonna pull the crippled card. I'm gonna pull the crippled. I'm sick. I'm God crippled me, and I'm dying, and I don't know, like, like, I'm lucky to be alive.
You're doing that while flaunting your eye.
I need my eyelashes done. Damn it! She couldn't get me in until tomorrow. And then my freaking hair appointment's on Friday.
There's nothing
Shit,
wrong.
we need to refilm this.
There's nothing wrong.
I'm just every bit of the, from rags to riches, guys. Here I am, the weird Disney princess.
You mentioned, obviously, wrestling. What first hooked you to wrestling?
Oddly enough, I wasn't a wrestling fan. I didn't know anything about the business, and my family, like I said, when I got involved with the business, and my family's re-entered my life, and they've started to help me and embrace my CRPS, and it's been a really, really beautiful experience. But during this whole entire journey, especially in the beginning, wrestling was trash. Like, why am I doing that? It's that fake shit. So So not that I had that mentality, but I didn't know anything about wrestling. So when I was offered a spot on the indies, I was just the theater kid. I was the model. I was the kid like dipping my toes in anything and everything local possible to get my name out there. And the job was offered as a valet, and I was really oddly I was so confused by this because I took my job seriously, and I had no idea how parking cars would help my acting career. And I didn't know what valet meant. Like
Yeah.
I thought that was like in America that mean I don't know what it means in Europe, but like in America it's like people that park cars, valet. Oh, you didn't know that? No wonder you didn't pop. All American podcast people pop for that joke. So so as a manager in wrestling, especially as a female, we're valets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, listen. In America, the people that, like when you go to a bougie restaurant or a bougie place and you have different bag boys or whatever that come out to get your bags and they park your vehicles. Well, in America, it's called valet parking, and they're valets. So not being a wrestling fan, I'm like so confused on why I'm getting a job offer to park vehicles. And they're like, no, valet does not mean parking vehicles, baby. And I'm like, what? Like, what is valet? What does that mean? And then they're like, I started researching Miss Elizabeth with Macho Man, and I started researching Scary Sherry because, you know, as the theater nerd, you know, I had to turn off, you know, like Lord of the Rings for 5 seconds and start researching this wrestling stuff. And Sherry Martel, a woman, like the different ones popped up, and I studied legends like that, and I really took valeting serious. And the year was 2011, and I came up with the Black Dahlia gimmick. Oh, you there? Shit. Oh no, did I lose you?
You hear me? I do not know what happened there.
Fuck you! You shot on me! I was talking! Fuck you! You meanie? Yo, butthead! You British bitch! Yeah.
Could you
Go drink some tea! I dumped it in the harbor.
I pause this?
What?
Could you I paused it?
It wasn't my fault!
I paused it. It was your fault.
Was it my fault? What did I do? Was my nipple?
It's all right. Blame the British. And I paused it, so we're not live. I paused it.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know, but you called me a British bitch.
Wait, are you not British?
Yes, I am, but you called me a British bitch.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm an American bitch.
Right, I'm going to press resume.
Oh, I thought we were already recording. I was trying to be funny.
We've just had we've just had like a little mix-up, and that what you've just said and stuff. That is.
He just called me an American bitch. Like, how dare he? He's so mean, guys. I'm traumatized. Oh
No,
God.
honestly, that was in there.
Good. See, he told me it didn't record, and I was like, no, guys, I want that in the podcast.
Okay, well, yeah, fair enough. Where were we? You was a ballet.
Was that the last thing I said?
You tell me. I just remember being called a British bitch.
Are you offended by that?
I'm not, but it has hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm an American bitch. It's okay.
Let's see what Bronwyn has to say, because she's British.
Honestly, I tell her where she's dominantly Canadian as well. I rib her for being Canadian, and I'm like, yo, you Canadian whore. I'm like, slap some maple syrup on those titties. I gotta figure out what's famous with you guys though, besides your royalty.
Well, you said
British?
tea.
Teeth? Ah, nah. That's, let's see. Tea. Tea bags. Tea.
Yeah, tea. Tea bags.
Tea.
No, not teeth. Tea bags.
Well, teeth is also another
Just because
thing.
you've got veneers.
These are natural.
Balls. Anyway,
Never had plastic surgery. Never had anything. Well, the only thing I get done is the eyelashes and hair extensions.
Yeah, which is needed.
Oh, and also lips done.
I'll let you off. We'll talk about that after.
What?
Anyway, let's stop insulting each other.
What? Well, I thought we were getting along.
Well, we are. But let's talk about this man.
I'm so offended by my British comment. Don't be upset. That means I'm friends with you.
You're funny.
I'm hilarious.
Let's talk about Rikishi. What's it like to train under him? What's some best advice that he's giving you?
What do you think it's like training under him?
Say again.
What do you think it's like training under him?
Tough.
He
Rick.
Good. He out in LA, like I was saying before, I didn't have the typical wrestlers in wrestling. I didn't have a house to sleep in. I didn't have a family back me. It was me and my friend Nathaniel. Nate, he goes by, well, he did go by the Killbilly, but now that he's been dipping his toe with the NWA, they suggested to nix the kill part, just because YouTube, like, PG, you know, so he's going by, like, Chainsaw Nate now, but Evil Nate, oh, pause again?
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't see you. You've kind of like fuzzed out.
Oh my gosh, what's going on?
2 seconds.
Okay.
Paige. Awesome. Yeah, she was on about Rikishi on how strict he is.
Yeah, so, like, when I was out there, I didn't, like, have a home to sleep in or family or friends. I'd never, you know, going from Ohio to LA, it was insane. So I was with a friend though, Nate, and him and we just slept out of my shitty little vehicle that didn't have proper air conditioning and was always dying on us, and there was always something going on with that vehicle, but it always had character. But we both worked night shift, and we both went to the, you know, after nights, went to the gym, showered there, and went out Rikishi's, and it just became our lifestyle, sleeping in the daytime, you know, and it would get really, really hot out there. But training at Rikishi's, he's like the gentle giant. He's very intimidating when you meet him. Have you ever met him before?
I've not met him, no, but I really wish I could.
He's very intimidating when you meet him. But then again, I'm only like 5'2", so I'm really short. But he's very tall. You know, he's very intimidating in stature. Let alone like when you meet him, it's intimidating, especially being in the business. Let alone as a wrestling fan, you approach this legend. He's a Hall of Famer, and it's like, oh shit, you know. But when I met him, I was a student at Funaki's, and when I approached him, I was like working his show on the card. It was like an indie show at the time, and it was during WrestleMania weekend out in Dallas. And that was ultimately, without me realizing it, an audition for his school. And at the end of the weekend, he offered Nate and I a spot at his school and really wanted us to come to LA. And we were like, say less, you know, and we respected Funaki, and it was really great training under him. But when we just packed our bags and went to LA. It was really cool because you knew that. Oh, you paused. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. But Rikishi, he's all about business, and he really. I don't say too much to the public about the knowledge he's discussed in private, but he's a great mentor, a really humble guy, a really good person, and I learned so much. And I will always love and respect him and put him over. And he's like a dad. And the knowledge he told me about the business and what to do behind the scenes, like I will always appreciate that. And one day I'll write a book and maybe talk in detail about that and educate people a little about that. But for now, it's like more like street smarts, so to speak.
Yeah.
And yeah, so really good mentor, really good coach. Love him. And I just got to see him again back during WrestleMania weekend. We both were booked at this con, and I gotta go and see him. And I left my table because I was with Marty Jannetty, and I went around, and a couple of the students at Knox was there, and they were helping him out, and it was just such a full circle moment. Like the last time those students saw me, I was being put in a wheelchair, and that was the first time they saw me since. And I saw Rikishi since my accident, and I've spoke to him since. But just seeing those students, and just it's on camera, and I've posted it. But it was such a beautiful, like, if there is a God, that's an angel moment. That's a full circle moment, and I love that I got to see my my family there, and I hope to make them proud, because when you leave the school, you're supposed to have a wrestling career, and I was robbed of it. So I hope to fulfill the mission.
I'm sure he's proud.
Yeah, I hope so. Hope to make him proud.
What's one thing that he said to you that sticks with you to this day?
That I am a professional wrestler.
How about that?
When I was sick, but we didn't know it, I was injured. He got me in front of everyone, and I've publicly spoken about this, so it's fine to talk about, but he got me in front of the whole school, and he said, this kid right here, she's a professional wrestler. And then like everyone just erupted in applause, and I told him I'd be back. And then
it's amazing.
Yeah. It's been 7 years, and it turns out
I have no doubt you'll be back.
It'd be cool to go check out the school again and see everyone out there. And when I'm actively wrestling, it'd be cool to have that full circle moment with the whole school. But yeah, having that full circle moment during WrestleMania weekend this year, it was beautiful. That was a God moment. But yeah. I told him I'd be back.
You also met Hulk Hogan this year.
I did. That happened this month, or a couple weeks ago. That was fresh.
What was that?
So I was on a mission. Do you want to hear about it? I feel like I can actually talk about it.
Yeah.
You're the first person I'm publicly talking about this. Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
Well, you owe it me after calling me a British... What was it?
I called you a British bitch. And I told you, go get your tea bags. Let's go to the harbor and fight. But then I'm an American bitch, and you got to come up with something funny about me. You can make fun of me for being crippled. It's okay.
No, because I have respect.
You're sick and dying. How dumb are you? Boo. You're dying. No. It's okay. I can take a joke. I make fun of myself all the time.
Is that hair real?
Absolutely not. You already know that. I know
I'm taking the piss.
Oh.
Just because I've got better.
We had like a 30-minute conversation about my hair and how I'm upset it's not going to be done.
I've got better eyelashes.
You already know that. That's not a good American joke. We'll come
Anyway.
up with something. We'll come up with
Anyway,
something.
Paige, talk to me about Hulk Hogan.
Let's see. What do you want to know? Are you a fan of his?
Hit and miss. It's like Marmite, innit? You either love him or hate him.
There's a lot of people that have brought it to my attention. Like some people, as him as a person, they don't like him, but they like him as a wrestler. Or some people are just neutral and they like both. Or some people hate both of him, his wrestling career and him as a person. So I stay out of it, especially where I wasn't brought up as a wrestling fan, so I didn't get the nostalgic, like really being a mark for him. But when I did get involved with wrestling and fall in love with wrestling, I did study his work, especially where I was studying Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth, and of course where they had that feud. And I studied him, and he believes in don't give up, the inspiration, that whole shtick, and where he had back surgeries and where he's in constant pain. I did think of him along with like DDP, I did think of all these different legends during my sickness. And when I found out he was going to be in town, it was for his like beer tour or whatever. He's like has his own beer now. I just was like, oh my gosh, that's one of the people I would love to meet, because he inspired, like as cliche as that is, you know what I mean? Like he inspired me during my wheelchair days, and especially when I was learning how to walk again. Like I was just like, like I got to meet him. This would mean so much to me, a full circle moment, And when I got to meet him, it was such a movie moment. He was going to all these different Krogers, and there was only 3 stops, and he was at his like last 2 stops of the day. And I went to that first location, and they stopped seeing people at 300 people. And when I went to get in line, they had already stopped seeing people and turning people away. So I didn't get to see him at that location. So I booked it to the next town over to get him at his last location. I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is like my last shot. I gotta see him. I want to tell him about CRPS. I got a mission. It's so important to tell important people about my disease. So we get there. My friend Nate, the one that's been through the journey with me, he jumps out of the vehicle and runs to the line to get a spot. And I'm still in the vehicle, I'm sick with my legs. It's not like I can go and do that, but he bolted, and they stopped seeing people, and they were turning everyone away. And it's just, my heart sunk, and he texted me because I told him to text me if I need to get out of the vehicle, and Nate was turned away. Sorry, my dog. My dog's asleep. 1 minute. Hey, baby. It's okay. It's okay. You sleeping? Oh. He was having a little... Were you barking in your sleep, my love? All right. Yeah. It's okay. You go tell them. Fuck you. You tell them, baby. Oh, anyway. So, we got turned away, and that was it. I wouldn't get to see him. I was like, oh, this sucks. And then, so Nate texted me that, and he was heading back to the vehicle. And next thing you know, I got a text, and Nate said, come here. And I was like, oh, shit. So I got out of the vehicle, and I ran. And what had happened is a local wrestling promotion, the owner was in line, and we haven't seen this guy in like 3 years. And his company doesn't exist anymore. And forgot all about him, really. Good guy. Well, apparently when Nate had his head down and was like walking back to the vehicle, Nate heard, hey, Nate. And he looked up, and it was that guy. And he went to that guy, and he's like, what's going on? And they're like, he's turning away people. And he's like, is Dahlia here? And Nate's like, yeah. And he looked around, and he lifted the rope and let Nate under the rope and got us in line. And so we snuck in and got in line, and were able to go and see him, and no one noticed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we it was a movie moment, and then I got in line and we waited like freaking 2 hours, and when I got up to him, Nate saw him first, and he's like, "Oh, huge fan," because Nate's a '90s baby, and he's like, and Nate told the truth and was like, "Hey, this girl, she's a professional wrestler. She was in a wheelchair and she learned how to walk again, and you were one of the people that inspired her." And he's like, "Whoa, what?" And they then I approached and I got my photos and I told him about CRPS, and some of it was filmed and I was a little rushed, but I was like, just
Yeah, you mentioned it's a very touching story, that, isn't it?
yeah. And I told him, I was like, "Listen, I understand if you'll forget me because you're seeing millions of people during this tour. It's like, I get it. Like, I don't expect you to remember me, but just remember CRPS. Like, tell people about this disease and tell people about this." And he shook my hand, and was like, and we talked, but it was cool. It was really brief, but it was really cool to be able to tell someone like that about my disease, and it gives me hope.
Yeah. So, other than professional wrestling and being an actress and a model, what else do you do?
Unfortunately, my sickness has taken over my life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been just the quest, the mission. But some of my hobbies, I like to read. Which I haven't in a minute, but I did like to read. But I love working out. But my sickness, my crippled legs, kind of, which I'm so politically correct about it. But it's my body. Who cares? It's
Mm.
my 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 sick legs, they only let me do so much, but I love, besides training and wrestling and besides trying to do my modeling and acting and getting involved with different film projects this year, I've been really focused on my OnlyFans and my modeling career with that. But besides my fitness journey, that's it. My sickness really controls my life. I like movies. I like going to watch movies.
Yeah.
Like
So,
traveling, but then I travel because of wrestling.
yeah,
Some things I do like though. If my legs permit it, I do like going on hikes, and when I travel, I do like researching what cool things are going on in town. Like, say I wrestle or I'm booked to do an appearance at a show, I will Google like, "Oh, this hotel we're staying at is haunted," or, "Hey, just up the road, there was an alien sighting back in the 50s," So I like to go and do research and like look up cool things like that.
yeah. So, just to recap and finish off, what is an
Yeah.
inspirational message from Black Dahlia? In other words, Paige, the American chainsaw queen bitch.
Yeah, you said it, babe. Woo! Chainsaw, tits, and
Yeah.
bitch. Sorry, guys. I am really not meant to be an inspiration, but here you go. Here it is. God chose me for a reason. Whatever. So, like, it's just so cliche, but like, don't give up, guys. Like, I have a disease that's called the suicide disease, and when you have this sickness, you get pain pills, you get treatments. I didn't have any treatments where I was misdiagnosed. I had no pain meds. I didn't even have my medical marijuana. I had nothing. So I experienced the most painful disease without any pills for 6.5 years. And I still am not on pills. But the point is, I should have gave up. It's nicknamed the suicide disease for a reason. And I didn't give up. And I want to spread hope towards those that might suffer with mental health or might battle a disability, might have a chronic illness. Just follow your dreams no matter what the world says about you and your disability or your chronic pain. You are more than your diagnosis, and you're valid in wanting to live a normal life, wanting to be like a healthy person, you know? And
Yeah.
so don't give up, guys. You know, there's that saying, reach for the moon and you'll land in the stars.
I love that. Where can people find you?
All over social media platforms. But you can find me as Paige Collette, the Black Dahlia Chainsaw Queen.
Awesome. Paige, thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate your time.
Yeah,
You
thank you.
are fun and bubbly. Like I said, I'll try and reach out to Bronwyne and see what she says about coming on.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be down.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate your time.
Yeah, you're amazing and professional, and it was so much fun.
It was, it was very fun. Put it that way. The most energetic person I've had in the 51 guests.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Take care.
Now you're ready. Now you're ready, kid. Go get them.